He was charming, ruthless, and brilliant. The man who reshaped the American underworld with a single vision: structure, organization, and power. This is the story of Salvatore Lucania, better known as Lucky Luciano, the godfather of modern organized crime. But how did an immigrant from Sicily rise from the streets of the Lower East Side to become the kingpin of the American Mafia? Let's dive into the real story behind the legend. Salvatore Lucania was born in 1897 in Lercara Fritti, Sicily. His family immigrated to New York when he was just 9 years old. They settled in the Lower East Side, a melting pot of poverty, crime, and opportunity. It didn't take long for young Salvatore to learn how the streets worked. He joined local gangs and started running errands for bootleggers and gamblers. He earned the nickname Lucky after surviving a brutal beating and throat slashing by rival gangsters and refusing to talk to the police. That silence bought him respect and fear. Luciano wasn't just a thug, he was smart and ambitious. He partnered with Meyer Lansky, a brilliant Jewish gangster, and together they built a cross-ethnic criminal empire. It was unheard of at the time. Under the mentorship of Arnold Rothstein, the man who fixed the 1919 World Series, Luciano learned the business side of crime. When Prohibition hit in the 1920s, Lucky saw an opportunity. He made millions smuggling alcohol, forging alliances with Irish, Jewish, and Italian gangs. But his real vision? Ending the constant bloodshed. He wanted a mafia that acted like a corporation, not a street gang. The 1930s were brutal. The Castellamarese War, a violent power struggle between rival mafia factions, tore New York apart. Luciano saw the old ways as outdated. So, in 1931 he made his move. He orchestrated the murders of both bosses, Joe Masseria and Salvatore Maranzano. Then, he abolished the idea of a boss of bosses. In its place, he created the Commission, a governing body of the 5 New York mafia families, plus Chicago and Buffalo. It was revolutionary. For the first time, the mafia operated with rules, balance, and shared power. And Lucky Luciano? He sat at the head of the table. But power attracts attention, and enemies. In 1936, crusading prosecutor Thomas Dewey came after Luciano with a vengeance. Despite weak evidence, Dewey convicted him on charges of running a prostitution ring. Luciano was sentenced to 30 to 50 years in prison. But even behind bars, Lucky's influence didn't fade. During World War II, he allegedly helped U.S. naval intelligence secure the docks from sabotage by calling in favors from the mob. In return, in 1946, Luciano was released from prison and deported back to Italy. Back in Italy, Luciano tried to stay involved, organizing the Havana Conference and advising his old allies. But the world had changed. The new mafia leaders were younger, bolder, and sometimes messier. Luciano died of a heart attack in 1962 at the Naples airport, just before a planned meeting with American film producers. His funeral in Naples drew hundreds, including undercover agents. The king was dead, but his empire lived on. Lucky Luciano didn't just run the mafia, he invented it. He turned street crime into a multi-billion-dollar business, reshaping American organized crime forever. From immigrant to underworld architect, his story is a dark mirror of the American dream.